You wake up in a felt tent on the Mongolian steppe in 1227. You're cold, you're hungry, and you have approximately 18 hours before something kills you. Maybe it's the Mongol warrior who's about to test whether you can ride a horse at full gallop while shooting arrows backward. Spoiler, you can't, and the penalty for failure in the Mongol army is death. Maybe it's the fermented mare's milk they're forcing you to drink that will destroy your digestive system within hours. Maybe it's the minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit winter temperature that you have no biological adaptation to survive. Or maybe it's just dehydration, because the Mongols don't drink water, they drink blood, milk, and alcohol. And if you ask for water, they'll assume you're weak and kill you for it. Here's what you need to understand about the Mongol Empire. It was a completely different operating system for human survival. Every single thing you know about staying alive, your diet, your shelter, your social skills, your physical capabilities, is completely useless on the Mongolian steppe. The Mongols built the largest land empire in human history, 12 million square miles, by being harder, faster, and more brutal than every civilization they encountered. And you're soft, slow, and absolutely unprepared for what happens next. This is why you wouldn't survive even one day in the Mongol Empire. What would kill you first, and why everything you think you know about survival is completely wrong for this environment. Breakfast will destroy your digestive system. You're hungry. Good news, the Mongols are offering you breakfast. Bad news, it's a leather pouch filled with chunky, sour, slightly alcoholic liquid that smells like a combination of cheese and gasoline. This is arag, fermented mare's milk. It's a staple of the Mongol diet. You're expected to drink about 2 liters of it per day. Here's what happens when you drink it. Your stomach, which has spent your entire life processing pasteurized milk. Fermented mare's milk contains different bacterial cultures than cow's milk. It has higher fat content. It's alcoholic, about 2 to 3% alcohol by volume. And it's served at whatever temperature the steppe happens to be, which in winter means barely above freezing. Within 30 minutes, you have violent diarrhea. Within an hour, you're severely dehydrated. You ask for water. Big mistake. The Mongols don't drink water. It's considered weak. Warriors drink arag, blood drained from horses without killing them, and occasionally kumis, distilled mare's milk, that's 30% alcohol. Asking for water identifies you as an outsider who can't survive their lifestyle. But here's the deeper problem. The Mongol digestive system adapted over generations to process this diet. They can extract nutrients from fermented milk, dried meat, and occasional blood that your body simply cannot process efficiently. You need vegetables. You need clean water. You need consistent meals. The Mongols eat twice a day, maybe. Sometimes they go days eating nothing but dried meat and milk products while riding 100 miles. Your metabolism isn't built for this, and you're already falling behind. Hour 3. The physical standards will break you. The diarrhea has stopped, mostly because there's nothing left in your system. A Mongol warrior approaches and hands you a horse, not a gentle, broken-in riding horse. A Mongol steppe pony, small, muscular, semi-wild, and trained to respond to commands you don't know. You're expected to mount it and ride, not walk it around a paddock. Ride it at full gallop across open steppe while maintaining formation with other riders. The Mongols learn to ride before they can walk. Children as young as 3 are strapped to horses. By age 5, they're riding independently. By age 10, they're shooting arrows from horseback at full speed. You learn to ride a bike at age 7 and you still sometimes wobble. Here's what the Mongol physical standards actually look like. A warrior is expected to ride 60 or 100 miles per day, not occasionally, daily. They can stay in the saddle for 20+ hours without serious discomfort. They can shoot arrows accurately at targets while riding at full gallop. They can control their horse with their legs alone while using both hands for weapons. And they can do all of this in full leather armor in temperatures ranging from -40 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit. You fall off the horse within 5 minutes. This is a problem. The Mongols have no tolerance for weakness in warriors. You can't fight. If you can't fight, you're not a warrior. And if you're not a warrior, you're either a craftsman, a slave, or dead. Since you have no useful craft skills for the steppe and you've already proven you're weak, your options are narrowing rapidly. But let's say you somehow stay on the horse. You're about to discover that Mongol horsemanship isn't recreational riding. It's a survival skill combined with a weapons platform. You need to control the horse while drawing a 150-pound draw-weight bow, shooting backwards at targets, and maintaining formation with 100 other riders who are executing complex cavalry maneuvers. You can't do any of this, and everyone can see it. Hour 6. The social rules will get you killed. You've survived the morning through sheer luck, and by staying quiet, now you're sitting in a ger, a felt tent, with a Mongol family. Not metaphorically. Actually die. Rule 1. Never step on the threshold of a jury. It's sacred space representing the divide between outside and inside worlds. Punishment for stepping on it is death. You don't know this. You step on it entering the tent. Someone has to explain, you're an ignorant foreigner. You're spared. Once, Rule 2. Never turn your back to the altar. Every Jerez has a small altar on the north side. Turning your back to it is profound disrespect to the family's ancestors. You do this while trying to find a place to sit, because you don't know Jera layout conventions. Another offense. Another angry warrior. Rule 3. Never refuse food or drink offered by the head of household. They offer you a chunk of fatty mutton that's been sitting out for 3 days. It smells rancid. You hesitate. Massive mistake. Refusing hospitality is a grave insult. You're questioning their generosity and their food quality. In Mongol culture, this can be a killing offense. You eat the rancid mutton. Your digestive system, already destroyed by fermented mare's milk, is about to enter crisis mode. But here's what makes Mongol social rules so deadly. They're not written down. There's no guidebook. You learn by observation and cultural immersion from childhood. As an outsider, you're violating rules you don't know exist. The Mongols have some tolerance for foreigners. They conquered and integrated hundreds of different cultures. But that tolerance has limits. Repeated offenses signal you can't or won't adapt. And people who can't adapt to the steppe die on the steppe. Hour 10. The violence is constant and casual. You're sitting with Mongol warriors around a fire. They're drinking kumis, the 30% alcohol distilled mare's milk, and getting rowdy. 2 warriors start arguing about something you don't understand. One warrior pulls a knife. You think you're about to witness a murder. You're wrong. This is just how Mongols settle disputes. The fight lasts 30 seconds. One warrior gets cut across the arm. The other gets punched in the face. They both laugh, drink more kumis, and the issue is settled. No one intervenes. No one calls for help. No authority figures arrive. This is normal conflict resolution. Here's what you're not understanding about Mongol culture. Violence isn't aberrant behavior requiring social intervention. It's a standard communication method. Mongols grew up in a society where martial skill determined survival. Fighting ability was tested constantly. Weakness was eliminated. The empire was built by warriors who killed more people than any other military force in history, 40 million dead during Mongol conquests. That's 10% of the world's population at the time. This casual comfort with violence is in their DNA. It's not in yours. When that warrior pulled the knife, your heart rate spiked to 160 BPM. Your hands are shaking. You're experiencing acute stress response to violence. The Mongols around you are relaxed. They've seen hundreds of fights. They've been in dozens themselves. Your fear marks you as an outsider who doesn't belong. But it gets worse. One of the warriors notices your fear. He walks over and challenges you to wrestle. This isn't a friendly invitation. This is a test. Mongol wrestling is their national sport. It's not recreational. It's combat training. You're about to fight a man who has been wrestling since age 5, who practices daily, and who sees this as an opportunity to demonstrate dominance over a weak foreigner. You lose in under 10 seconds. The warriors laugh. Not friendly laughter. Contemptuous laughter. You've confirmed their assessment. You're weak, and weakness is the worst quality you can display in Mongol society. Power 14. The cold will kill you before anything else. Temperature drops from 60 degrees Fahrenheit to 20 degrees Fahrenheit in 2 hours. It'll be below zero. You're wearing whatever clothes you arrived in, probably jeans and a jacket. The Mongols are wearing heavy wool deals, robes lined with fur, leather boots stuffed with wool, and felt hats that cover their ears. You're cold within an hour, shivering within 2 hours, hypothermic within 3. Here's what hypothermia does to you. Your core body temperature drops from 98.6 degrees Fahrenheit to 95 degrees Fahrenheit. You start shivering uncontrollably. Your brain function decreases. Decision-making becomes impaired. You're clumsy, confused, and your speech slurs. The Mongols notice. They've seen this before. It's what happens to soft people who can't survive the steppe. At 90 degrees Fahrenheit core temperature, you stop shivering. This seems like relief. It's actually the beginning of death. Your body is giving up on maintaining temperature. Your heart rate becomes irregular. People in late-stage hypothermia often undress because they feel hot. You start removing your jacket. A Mongol warrior stops you. He understands what's happening, even if you don't. They wrap you in felt blankets and force you to drink hot air. This saves your life, but it also confirms you cannot survive their environment without their help. You're a liability, a person who needs saving. In Mongol society during wartime expansion, liabilities don't last long. But here's what you still don't understand about the cold. The Mongols aren't just tolerating it better than you through clothing. They're physiologically adapted. Generations of steppe living created cold adaptation at the cellular level. Their bodies produce heat more efficiently. Their blood vessels constrict to preserve core temperature more effectively. Their baseline metabolism is calibrated for this climate. You're not adapted. You're a tropical species trying to survive in an environment you have no biological preparation for. The cold isn't just uncomfortable, it's actively lethal, and your body has no defense against it beyond shivering, which doesn't work once core temperature drops too far. Hour 18, the fundamental incompatibility. You've made it 18 hours. You violated multiple social rules and only survived because someone vouched for you as an ignorant foreigner. You've nearly died of hypothermia, and you haven't accomplished a single useful task all day. Here's the reality. You're not just failing at Mongol life. You're fundamentally incompatible with it. Everything about your biology, your psychology, and your cultural conditioning is wrong for this environment. The Mongols are nomadic pastoralists who view farming as weakness. They conquer agricultural societies and extract tribute from them, but they don't farm. Your body needs vegetables, grains, and consistent meals. The steppe provides none of this. Your physical capabilities are insufficient. You can't ride well enough to keep up. You can't shoot a bow with enough power to hunt or fight. You can't fight hand-to-hand effectively. You can't survive extreme temperature swings. Every physical standard of Mongol life is beyond your capability. Your social conditioning is inappropriate. You're trained to avoid violence, seek authority for dispute resolution, and value individual comfort. Mongols are trained to use violence as communication, resolve disputes through personal combat, and subordinate individual comfort to group survival. Your instincts are wrong for every social situation. Your technology dependence is fatal. You need GPS to navigate, stars, and landscape memory. You need written instructions. They operate through oral tradition and direct demonstration. You need infrastructure, roads, buildings, supply chains. They create infrastructure through conquest and maintain it through tribute. The math of survival is impossible. Let's be honest about what survival requires in the Mongol Empire. Ride 60-plus miles daily. Shoot 150-pound draw bow accurately from horseback. Fight hand-to-hand against trained warriors. Survive minus 40 degrees Fahrenheit to 100 degrees Fahrenheit temperature swings with minimal clothing. Function on 1-2 meals per day of fermented milk and dried meat. Can you do this? No. Learn and follow unwritten cultural rules perfectly. Display zero weakness. Resolve conflicts through personal combat. Accept casual violence as normal. Subordinate individual needs to group survival. Can you do this? No. Digest fermented mare's milk without digestive distress. Survive on high-fat, low-carb diet with no vegetables. Maintain core body temperature in extreme cold without modern clothing. Resist infections without antibiotics or modern medicine. Can you do this? No. You fail every single requirement. And here's the brutal truth. The Mongols wouldn't waste time trying to train you. They conquered an empire by moving fast and eliminating weakness. If you can't contribute, you're a resource drain. You're left behind. If you're left behind on the Mongolian steppe in 1227, you die within a day from exposure, dehydration, or predators. You wouldn't survive because survival requires capabilities you don't have and can't develop in time. The Mongols built their empire by being the hardest people on Earth, adapted to the harshest environment on Earth, using survival skills refined over generations. You're soft, adapted to climate-controlled environments, using technology that doesn't exist yet to survive. The Mongol Empire wasn't just a different time, it was a different species of human toughness that your comfortable modern life has completely bred out of you. And that's why you'd be dead before sunset.